We've been full of informative discussion all week long in the school squad, the Fox 61 school squad. Why stop on a Friday as we get closer and closer to the start of the school year, if it hasn't started already? This is a big one. Weaning children from their electronic usage during highly unstructured times like summer vacation, getting them back to schedule. It's tough, but it's necessary, and that's why we have educator and best-selling author Douglas Haddad with us to talk about this. Nice to have you here.
Pleasure to be here.
Teacher in Simsbury, how many years?
Going in my 24th year.
Well, God bless you for that. But you know, and we'll go into this in a second, but you've seen a seismic change in the way students behave mentally, academically, and a lot of it can be traced to the phone, right?
Yeah, we're seeing technology use at an all-time high. They're using it during the day on a regular basis.
Yeah.
We as teachers actually encourage that and promote that to some extent.
Right.
But there is that limit, and even the American Academy of Pediatrics says you can only use it so much. If you're 2 to 5 years old, up to an hour a day.
There's so many things that you could do. Parents, if you have younger kids, this is what we're going to do right now. We're going to give you a couple of tips to kind of set the boundaries now. We're going to start with exactly that, establishing clear and reasonable limits on screen time. And this is important out of the get-go for kids, right?
Yes, and we should communicate that with our children right away. We should overview it with them, talk about the reasons and the potential consequences from excessive screen time use. If we talk about the physical health impact, the sleep impact, we talk about their academic impact and their social, emotional impact.
Right. Young kids, they're not going to get all that. What are they? You're hoping at the very least to say, listen, if you ingrain this in the brain now, you'll be fine later on, or better later on, I should say.
Yes, and those reasonable and clear limits could be, for example, just saying, here's a specific time and place you can actually use the electronics.
And you just said the magic word there. We've been talking about time, but let's talk about place as well. In my house, you are not allowed to have that phone or any computer in your bedroom after dinner, and that's important. Something like that, I should say, and that's creating tech-free zones in your house.
Well, Matt, you hit upon 2 important places not to have technology. Dinner table, for obvious reasons of sanitary,
right,
and also it's a great time to connect with parent, family, and all family members. But also the fact of before you go to sleep, we know that blue light emits that cognitive arousal and suppresses that hormone, melatonin, so we want to get that. And
with the teenagers, it's the worst, right?
Yeah.
Because they're seeing too much in the middle of the night, and you're right, the overstimulation is tough. You know, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, number 3 is tough for even me, because you have to be a good example to your kids, and that means keeping your phone off the dinner table as well. You got to set a good example.
Yes, and when we do that, we're actually showing them, our children, this is exactly how you should behave in accordance with that. And then if we have in our back pocket a variety of different activities that we can offer our children, and the more engaging and rewarding
and that's
those are,
it. Give them a substitution, and that's where we go with number 4. And we're going to go through the last 2 quickly because I think they're just obvious. You want to spend quality time with your kids doing anything but stuff on the phone, stuff on the computer. And number 5, and we'll get to the full screens in just a moment, you want to monitor and manage your children's screen time. As a parent, this is, I think, obvious, but I also know that as a parent, you're handing off electronics to the kids to just keep them busy.
Well, when you start off out of the get-go, and I encourage to have a contract with your child, and each night you review what they've used and talk about social etiquette, talk about digital permanence, because you're not born with a whole knowledge of how to use a cell phone at an early age. You'd be guided on that.
I don't want to sound all old fogey style, but I almost wish that this thing wasn't around for kids or regulated better, because whereas I know it does some tremendous good, I think that the negatives, especially when kids are getting started, you're trying to keep them on a straight line to success, can be a problem.
Well, it goes back to that role modeling. If you have a variety of activities, and we have a family fun night at our house, so if you do puzzles,
create
memory
the alternative,
games, physical activity, different things, and get to actually ask your child, what are your interests? And if you could help them build a schedule around that, that would be best.
It's a different kind of communication, kids. It's called talking. Doug Haddad, good stuff. Please come back. We have great information there, and of course, we'll have it on our website at fox61.com.